battle cry. Stars and moons light up the sky. OPC hunt, OPC. Through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight. Community, our guiding light. Battling communists with cheer. Reduces courage, knows no fear. With every clash and mighty roar. Victory's prize forevermore. OPC hunt, OPC. Through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight. Community, our guiding light. Battle anchor shift us soar. Reduces heart and core. Galactic winds, they lead our course. Unity, our driving force. Our driving force. OPC hunt, OPC. Through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight. Community, our guiding light.
Give me just a second, y'all. I gotta finish sharing this out, but 1 second.
Unity, our driving force.
Oil? Well, there's oil? Well, look, you can't tell me that because the American in me is going to want to invade. Welcome in, everybody. My name's Rev. New content. Star Trek Fleet Command, and War Thunder. Although there's not really a correspondent. I would actually love to do a history podcast, but I'd actually love to do a podcast about all kinds of things. I'm a 35-year-old man who likes things. I just got a used book in the mail called The Handy Quantum Physics Answer Book. Like, I'm an old man, and I like random things. I like cars. I like space. I've always loved quantum physics. That was actually what I was going to do coming out of high school, and then went into seminary. Life's weird, but let's discuss how things are going. And I'm freezing my butt off right now. I actually have a heater literally 6 inches from me, and I'm still cold. It's not supposed to be this cold in Louisiana, and it's distressing, honestly. But I'm so glad that I'm here with y'all because, well, the good news is the weather was not so bad that power was lost or anything. So I'm heckin' happy about that. It's freezing, but I'm able to work. I'm able to talk to y'all, which is pretty heckin' cool. Hopefully y'all are having a fantastic day. Today, I do want to go over a couple different things. Number one, Alliance tournaments are back. Yay, Alliance tournaments returning. I think everybody is happy about that because the more everybody has learned about things like the free-to-play primes they can get, and now the Kishar artifact, which y'all seen me been using on the stream a lot. That's really neat. That's cool to go after. And then because y'all have been requesting it, as y'all can see on the screen, I'm previewing it to you. Before anybody asks, no, this is not publicly available yet. It needs to go through testing to make sure all the numbers are right, because the last thing I need is for all of you to be like, Rev, we tested it and your math is wrong. Okay, so it needs to make sure that it's perfect. Shout out to Lightbolt, who has been doing amazing work to help put this together with me. But because people have been asking for an Apex calculator, explain the math of how Apex works, I don't believe is really that difficult, but it's nice to have a visual example and, more importantly, a tool, because there are plenty of people who are happy to dive into the nitty gritty bolts of the numbers, right? I'm one of those people, and there are a bunch of those people. I mean, it's Claire, it's Lightbolt, it's Quasel, it's Jules Verne. You know, it's all the people who love doing this stuff. However, 99.99999% of the game do not want to do all that to figure out what they need. So the purpose of this is going to be quite simple. And I'm specifically having Lightbull code this to be simple. But the purpose of the tool is going to be for you to put in your data. For example, you're going to go to your battle log and you're going to put in how much the weapon shot did. And then you're going to manipulate the numbers and see how much you need to change that. So for example, as you can see on your screen, I've got a example shot. So the purpose of this is for me to go down to this chart, and then I can see the table of how much hull damage can I reduce this shot down to by adding more apex barrier. That is the general premise. So this is going to give you an idea of where the apex barrier is approximately at, how much was split, and then we're going to then show you, okay, well, if you added more apex barrier, what happens? That's the basic premise. We've got it in real simple terms. That's my plan. And then we also have a slider up here in case you're like the most VIP of VIP and you want to see what adding like 50,000 apex would do. Well, there you go. So it's going to be a very simple tool. It is not done yet. Shout out to the people at Spock Slope who are helping me with it. So no, it is not public. When we get it done with some testing, I will release it and say, hey, y'all go wild and use it. Until then, there'll be a small group of people that we have testing it in various ways to find bugs. And that's going to be all of our math nerds. But it is exciting to have these kind of tools because it's going to be simple. And that's what I wanted. Basic. Here's what you need. If you're playing the game, here's your shot. Here's your apex. Here's what happens if you add more. And then there are other things that we plan on doing, which is going to be things like showing you where to get more basic apex. So anyway, that's the basics of how this tool is currently set up. Incredibly simple, but good. Incredibly simple, but good. So we'll go through all that and yeah, and more. And more. Wonder if Spock Slope can pull over what missions you have and have not completed. Marin, Scopely themselves are supposed to be doing that. Scopely is supposed to be working on that. So we wait and see. The Scope is supposed to be working on that. We'll see what that ends up turning into. That's something they talked about in their roadmap, was allowing people to have better recognition of missions and be able to access those better. So, like you, fingers crossed, right? Fingers crossed. So let's jump into the game because I have actually not looked at my Alliance tournament list yet today. And as y'all have, no way, kidding me, crazy. Got the best free-to-play one on the dot immediately. Revs RNG through the roof. It's like Dogecoin. It's to the moon. Crazy. All right, so yeah, exactly. New whistle. My RNG's been crazy. I full pulled a Q cannon on stream the other night, and now I got this. If y'all missed me full pulling a Q cannon, what can I say? You missed out. That was some excitement right there. But we're going to talk about Alliance tournaments again. And of course, if you haven't already, strongly encourage you to check out the Alliance tournaments list. I'll go ahead and put that on the screen in 1 second as soon as I grab it. And tournament task list and display. There we go. Again, this is on the Discord. I know we say it all the time. It is in the volunteer charts channel, for those who are looking for where this is. But here you go. We have all of the different ones, and there's even a new tab that is still a work in progress, so please be patient with it. But shout out to all the amazing nerds like Quazel and Tarpy and Jules. I can never call out all of them because there's a lot of great volunteers we have that do all this cool stuff behind the scenes to help us out. But a very easy cheat sheet for some of these big ones to show you, hey, here's how to actually get them. Like, for example, have you been saving your emergency field rations when comps come in so you can do the acquire 7,000 galactic recruits? The main one that I'm doing is this one right here. This is the one I talk about being my big bang for buck. I love this one. It's awesome. So this is also just nice, handy, because again, we talked about people like visuals. They like to see exactly what they need to do without just being told, hey, here's the math. Now we're going to have this in there to show you what to go after. Now, keep in mind, this is Blue's 10K task, free to play. So Blue's here putting up this one doesn't include like your 4Ks and your 800s, just the big ones, which is going to be what most people are looking at. So what most people are looking at, and it helps you know what to plan for in the future. Like this one that I harp on all the time being my favorite. Well, you need to know that you need to be saving your safe opportunity chest That way you can have this when it comes around and you can do the pull, because it does take, depending on what rep you are, 16 to 24. So for me, it's 16 because I've, leveled up my NX01 and everything. I've done all the things, but it can be more expensive the lower tier you are. So I'm going to come down here real quick, go over to my enterprise. You see, I've got 5 hours to my normal pulls, but I'll go ahead and do this one here. We'll just do 16. Okay, well, I'm going to manually type in 16 because apparently I can't use a slider to save my butt. All right, and you see I've got 4,200 saved up. So simply put, am I going to be able to do this a lot? No, but 10K is 10K. The more you can get, the better. The more you can get, the better. And because the 10K tasks, to me, are really the only ones that are good payouts. Like, the rewards to most of these are not very good. It's great to have as many of the free-to-play 10Ks as you can get. What I'm doing right here. There's my 6,000 uncommon export credits. We're going to back out and we're going to go claim that in our Alliance Tournament store, which will obviously make my Alliance happy because I just did a 10K task, which is obviously going to give points. One thing to also remember about the 10K task is not only are you getting points, so you're going to get 10,000 tournament points, but you're getting the Alliance Tournament credits. This is the big one for me because we need credits. That's the reward you use to get things in the store. And then you get more refresh rolls, which is admittedly nice. I'm going to go ahead and refresh that because I don't want to bother with it. Nor am I going to buy a pack to get 17,000. So I'm going to re-roll those. And then we can hop back into the store. And once again, look at the different things to go after. If you're in Masters League, the Kashara artifact is here. Remember, there is a slew of free primes that are worth obtaining. We did a video about that. Strongly encourage you to check it out. I can also pull that up on the list. And then other things like the Transwarp Drive refit. I'll be getting that for my board cube this time around, as well as a couple of other things that are also nice. And remember, as you actually rank up in your, not Syndicate, Emerald Chain. As you rank up in your Emerald Chain, you actually get more things added into your store that may have value to some of you, may not. Obviously, that will vary, but for example, you make it to 17, NX01 blueprints are now available in the store. Make it to 18, the binary cutter refit makes it in there. So as you progress with your alliance, is one of the reasons you want your alliance to perform as high as you can, so that you can get better rewards to actually unlock in the store itself. There are also good things here like the Stella refit. Why the Stella refit is at 24, I don't know. To me, that seems like something that would be at like rank 4. I don't know why it's at 24. But anyway, cool things that will come available later as you progress further and further down the chain. Okay. Gonna need to be 40 plus. See the Fringy Whip in the store? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. The Fringy Whip is a level 40 plus exclusive, I guess you could call that. I mean, how exclusive is a paid item? But yeah, it's 40 plus. And yay, it's doing the thing where it's not automatically showing me. Oh, there we go. It just was waiting for me to complain. And I'm going to get the export one again. I see, you got to be very careful with talking bad about Scopely. That sometimes they're listening and they give you the streamer RNG. All right, let me go in and do that again. I'm sorry to rub it in y'all's face that I've saved for it multiple times, but don't feel too good for Rev because I can't afford to do it after this. It's the last one that I can afford. So I only had enough saved because it's not been that long since we just ran Alliance tournaments. I'm only able to do this twice. So, but if y'all have questions, comments about our main topics today, the Alliance tournaments and the Apex Barrier Calculator that we're working on, feel free to shoot them in because, as always, love talking with the people. All right. See it pop up a few times. Don't have enough chips. Got you, Morph. Again, all I can say is just make sure you prep for it. If it's something that you can plan for and try to go after. It just takes preparation. And I get it. That's time. And it probably isn't going to help you now, but if you remember for next time, it's a great thing to prepare for and to work on. So I got 2 of my 3 done here, and let's check our member scores. And we've already got a few people who have 3 out of 3'd it here, and I'm sitting at, oh well, he's up there. I'm sitting at 2 out of 3. So just pray the Alliance tournament breaks again so we get some extra credits. I'll be honest, Louie, as nice as comp chests can be, and if anybody's out there saying the comp chests haven't been nice, well, I'm not sure what game you've been playing. The comp chests have been nice. I would rather have it work. So my hope is that there are no problems with Alliance tournaments. However, you are right. There was a nice comp the last time it broke, but I truly would rather it just work. I would rather it just work. John says they managed to get Syndicate 10K task free to play because I ranked first in the FKR rep event. Very nice. Nice way to like coordinate those. You gotta be very careful about when you collect those events, but yeah, there you go. Time for a Q Trials 10K task to farm. Hate that the store credits is worth it. You know, that one is annoying, right? To go out and grind the Q Trials. Wrong thing, I clicked the word. But I do like that Protomatter is a free-to-play grind by doing your Q Trials, right? So as long as you can beat the Q Trials, doesn't matter if it's the big ones or the little ones, you're going to get Protomatter for each win, and the higher your Q building, the more loot you get for it, which is right there, that Protomatter reward bonus. And with that, you can then get that free-to-play Protomatter grind task, which is 55,000 Protomatter. So there are also other ways to do it. Remember, you got the Lucky Pull from the Fringy Whip, which I'd never get. You have the Xborg FT Exchange. You have the Mirror Refinery FT Exchange. And I think there's one more. But I'm blanking on what the other one would be. So, Lions Tournament got anything new? Nope. Same thing in the store this time as last time. But with that, a lot of things were added here in the past couple iterations of tournaments, with the biggest, most recent addition being the Kishara artifact, which, depending on how I look towards the end of tournaments with my currency, I'm probably going to try to rank it up at least once, because only hitting +3 is not enough. Honestly, I'd love to be like +5 or +10. So, but that's going to become secondary, right? Leveling this up is secondary to all that. My primary goal are the primes that I need. Like, I want to do the G4 ship parts for scrapping purposes, and also going to get the Transwarp Borg refit, and there are a couple of PvP primes in here that I'm going to go after as well. And sneakily, what might be something that is very valuable after you get the primes, the rare Zindi directives. Being able to run more rare Zindi armadas and being able to pull that chest more is nice, because obviously one of the biggest bottlenecks to that Zindi armada being valuable for all players is the directives are ridiculously hard to source. So getting the rare ones is something I'm thinking about, as well as working on my Andy Billups, Jack Ransom, Jack. I've got a lot of things on my honey list that I want to go after. Possum, great to see you. Welcome in. Good to see you, my friend. Now, let's see. What else we got? Started faction grinding 2 days ago because you said go for it. I gained 300 million on level 48s in mirror grinding faction credits. That's 300 million on each faction. Still only came fourth in faction rep SLB because of hardcore players. But cool things to note, Rob. You came fourth in a grind SLB event, which is something worth getting praised for. Shout out to you. That's pretty awesome. And the fact that you got so much rep, because 300 million rep is a lot for a player at level 48, and you did that in a couple of days, right? So we talk about hitting those 1 bill locks. That shows you right there. You could easily, in a week, if you wanted to, I'm not telling you to do it, but if you wanted to, you could quite easily go ahead and lock out at 1 billion for each faction. And that would really set you up for going into the 50s. And, if you got to 1.1, let's say you're at level 50, you can already start pulling your Nova BPs, have them ready. You can always start pulling your Vorcha BPs. Get you a Vorcha, have them ready. That's great. And then also the real neat thing is, I don't know if you did this, but did you track how many faction credits you earned in that period? Because the other bonus there is, assuming you're not at the really baby mirror hostiles, because some of the baby ones don't drop out as good of a loot. But if you're in the slightly higher ones, faction credits drop at a pretty nice rate. How many faction credits did you end up with? Because again, people will talk about, I can't afford to get the level 50 epic. I'm like, I don't know, man. In 2025, I feel like it's quite doable between the Terran Empire favors, between the ability to grind faction credits directly in mirror space. I feel like it's a very doable thing. And that's not even counting all the things that you can get here, which, if people will notice, I have actually done it for my Federation. So I actually get 60 million Federation rep a day through this if I choose. And then I have to rank up to get the Klingon and Romulan reference. I did the Federation one because that's my weakest faction. That's the one I have the least amount of reputation in. So I grabbed that right there. You see my Klingon and Romulan both at 3.5 billion. So, all right. You're forgetting your research for getting extra loot from armadas. There are at least 2 research trees that help in boosting loot from armadas. I'm not forgetting that at all, Brigadier Jones, nor do I have any idea why you think I'm forgetting that. That's a random statement and inaccurate. Let's see, I added 4 billion ROM at Owl City 4. I can't believe I didn't know about the mirror rep grind. Happy to hear it, BC. Happy to hear that. Anything I can do to help out the community, obviously, I love doing. That's great. That's great. You're at 270 of 650 for the Tribune and almost 1.1 billion. Great, Mihai. See, again, and I said this the last stream. You know, recommendations that have been made in the past, which a big one, and I used to say the same thing, was skipping the 50 epics. Well, I think that's incredibly outdated now. The 50 epics are absolutely worth it to get and easy to get, relatively speaking, if you're doing your loops. Now, again, this does come back to where are you in the game? And I have the wonderful benefit of getting to interact with thousands of players every week, which is really neat, but at the same time, it also lets me see where everybody's at. And you're going to run into people who maybe go up too fast. I was talking to a player on an, I wouldn't say older server. Server's about 4 years old. And they were level 54, but they were only about 140 million power. So they were missing a significant chunk of research. They had moved into G5 recently, but they were missing a lot of research and did not have all their crewing. So they were getting some issues with some of the newer loops that were coming out. So you got to be very careful with how fast you move up. But there are a lot of things you can pick up now, take advantage of that just weren't really possible in the past that are possible now. Really, really nice. Dave says going to get a cheeky free Enterprise A from the away team store will only have taken me 1 3/4 years, but hey, until they put 5-star ships in there, it's not like you wasted those tokens. I too am waiting for 5-star ships to get added. One day, we hope, one day. No idea when, but one day. We went from 1 bill to 15 bill on all 3 factions last time we had a rep event. Wow, Tim, that's nice. And again, this is the benefit of Mirror. And I will still say this, and I've said it to the game designer in charge of Mirror, and I really don't try to say it in like a, wow, you suck way. It's just a, please don't do this again way. I hate the mechanic of Mirror. I love the value of Mirror. I just, even to this day, because it doesn't work perfectly, I hate the click, go, click, go, click, go. I just can't stand that, especially because, you know, the whole, if you click it and tell it to go, it should automatically do it, but half the time it doesn't automatically do it. I don't like that. I hope they never use this mechanic again. That's just my biased, very, very biased opinion. However, the value in Mirror is undeniable. The best research tree in the game, arguably right now. Arguably the best grind spot in the game. You got to do it. You don't have to, but you put up with the annoying so that you can do that. And also another reason why they need to run Galactic Invasions more. And before anybody asks, yes, I'm still bugging them about running Galactic Invasions more. And I will continue to bug them. I wish I had more answers there, but here we are. Here we are. All right. Sitting here, ready to get my pilot at 46. Congrats, Marin. But can't get arenas to run for the favor. Save credits for my Tribune as well. I am disappointed in arenas, as are you. Yes, I want more arenas. Yes, I want them to work right. Ugh. That's a sour subject, and today's a happy day. It's a very happy day, chat. We have tournaments working. It's a happy thing. So focus on happy thoughts. Day tournaments, keep working, please. Please keep working tournaments. So, all right. That one's not F2P. I'm trying to see, do I notice any of the F2P ones? I need the Epic Dominion, because that one's not it. I need the acquire Dominion or acquire Borg solos. The Temporal Disruptors is technically F2P, but not easy. So it's trading back with the artifacts, and then also sitting on a pile of like your Eye of Araz and everything. That is technically free to playable, but not an easy one. Hey, speaking of, there we go. There's the grinded out free to play Protomatter one that takes me forever, but is worth it. Is worth it. Yeah. Freedom Server 712. Hello, Steven. Shout out to Server 712. Good to see you. Welcome on in. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome. All right. Afternoon, Kal-El. Good to see you. And no, for those asking, I have no news on an arenas comp. Beyond that, it will happen. That's all I've been told. Yes, there will be a comp. That's all I've got. That's all I've got. Got 140,000 syndicate from the mirror research event as well. Love the mirror rewards. Happy to hear you like it, James. Hellcats, good to see you. Welcome on in. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day as well. Welcome, welcome. Don't forget also that y'all all need to do, every single one of you, y'all need to go out there, take your beautiful, beautiful heinies, see all of you out there grinding. Your mirrors, grinding. Your faction reps, and credits. Y'all learned about it, now do it. Hit 61 recently, congrats on hitting Sigma. So actually, this is actually really, really important for you. Make sure you're out there in mirror right now, Hellcast, because you're not going to feel it much at level 61. However, hat tip, my own video, shot myself out. I got big-headed. Sigma speed ups. Remember, if you start hitting Sigma levels, so 61 and higher hostiles in mirror, they drop Sigma speed ups. You're going to want those Hellcats. Make sure you're getting those in your grind. Are you going to grind out 55,000 Protomatter? Easy, BC Tubber. Few trials. Also, there are 2 refines that I can do that pay out Protomatter. One's in the mirror refinery, right in here, right there. And then there's one in the X-Borg faction store. There's technically one with the, I think it should be free to play by now, but the Fringy Whip. And that can technically give you that, but that's really unlikely. So I get most of it from doing my Q trial grind. Yeah. Can we get server 705 to ascend to 51 plus? Hit me up on Discord and I can talk to them about it. As I tell everybody, if y'all want that, message me, because I'm not going to remember it during stream. So, but shoot it to me and I will definitely try to look into that for you. But you got to remind me, you know, off stream. Yeah. Need 3 top crews versus regular Zenny. Nothing works well. I did a whole video about that, Ukiman, with several different crews. So I could go find the video for you if you'd like. And thank you, Quake. I hope you're doing well as well. Good to see you. Welcome into the stream. Kal-El says they did a test punch today on FK Armadas. 260 mil Northcut clear to 56 epic, no problem. Yep. Punching up is good. And if you're working on crews and taking your time, you can even be like Rev and you're punching up on Crenum Armadas as well. I'm doing the 56 Crenums at level 53. Feels good. Feels strong. Feels strong. Steven says we've been pushing for the new 710, 712 server to ascend. Steven, I'll tell you this. Any server that I'm on, I talk to them about mergers and ascension. So if it happens, I already know about it. And I can't tell you anything besides what I can tell you. Static recharge, both. I can do both 56s, Ryan. No problem. I can do static. I can do charged. I can even do the neutral ones. Not a thing. It doesn't matter. I can do both. Don't even bother with a 30 round limit. Just smack them in the face. Tell them who's boss. Rev's boss. Take it. Yeah. Yeah, Kevin. The cheese crew is Twitch only. Twitch only. So we don't have all those fancy commands here set up on YouTube. Yeah. All right, let's see. I need to check. Because all of my timers should be tonight, which, by the way, we do stream later today on Twitch as well. If y'all want to come hang out, we're doing Alliance tournaments and War Thunder there. So 2 different games y'all can come play with us. But that's why my timers are all over the place. So I'm not going to be able to pull anything today. I could just save that syndicate for later. And I really don't want to pull any of these. So we're just going to hold off on that. I got the Dolomite to pull and that. I need to go do waves. I don't think anybody's doing waves right now. Go check all these other events that we have. So, how on the charged? Crewing? Boosting? Chips. I mean, I don't know what crews you're running, but yeah. I'm using my tier 7 Vorcha, my tier 6 Northcut. I'm running mostly ISO and base runs and shot base runs. And then I'm using all 3 boosts if needed. I will also throw in this one as well, though, if needed. Which this just lets me get more at once in a short period of time. So, it's the boost. Oh, yeah, you definitely got to boost, Ryan. You got to boost. For me to do a naked one, I can do a naked static and charged at my level. I can do a naked one. But I can't punch up without boosting. The boosting, though, I can take out the 56s. But I recommend all these new ones to be done with a boosting method because... here's the logic. You're going to do them in clusters really quickly together. And that's how in my faction, I don't think y'all see it because I do have the donate bar up. But if I come in here, I have 190 charged and 180,000 static currency sitting there right now because I'm punching up. So, yeah. There you go. It just, if you can, punching up is going to be the preferred method. But do keep in mind that when they design these boxes, they're very picky about what they expect players to hit. Picky's not the right word, but they're very particular. And you're only ever guaranteed for your level to get a single chest pull. If you get a full pull, that's lanyap, as we would say here in Louisiana. That's a little bit extra. So, where's a noob find where to spend rare fleet commander credits? You spend them on your fleet commanders. Now, I'll pop it. I might have some that, need that. Let me hit the skill tree real quick. Wrong one, not skill tree. Let me hit the info button. And then over here. There you go. There you go. Happy to help there, Edward. Eric says I'm moving up to 50. Everyone's saying skip the 50 ships and rush 53. Any thoughts? I think that is old advice. That is incredibly outdated. And that you should absolutely pick up a 50. And I don't think you'll regret it. Get you a Tribune, get you an Enterprise A. You won't regret it. And here's the benefit. Instead of just saying that. And keep in mind that I've done this on 2 accounts now. And it's gotten easier to do it the more time has passed. I don't struggle with any loops that come out. For example, Crenum loop. You're going to struggle with the Crenum loop if you just go straight to 53 right now and you only have 46 rares. You're going to struggle. You will not struggle with any loop in the game if you are progressing in a way where, I'm not saying max out at level 50. I'm not saying do every research, do every ship, but if you do not skip ships at faction levels, example, 34, 42, 46, 50, 53, and you play at that pace, you're never going to struggle with new content the game comes out with for a very simple logical reason. When game design creates loops, hostiles, armadas, entities, which is just armadas 2.0 to make it to where some things don't work so they could sell new things. They're always going to base it around what a good average player at that level should be able to do. So that means at level 50, they're expecting you to have like a tier 5 to tier 7 level 50 to do this hostile. All right, that doesn't mean that you can't do the hostile with, say, a 46 rare, but that is how they're designing the game, right? They're not designing the game around people who decide to skip for efficiency's sake. Because of people who skip for efficiency's sake, they can find themselves at various points in their game struggling with newer content. If you're a player who doesn't want to have those woes, and if you are, cognizant that that's going to happen, that's completely fine. I mean, you feel free to level up. But if you're one of those players that doesn't want to run into those roadblocks, that's a great way to prevent you from ever having that problem. Always pick up at least one of those ships. You're always going to be fine against the latest iteration of whatever Scopely comes out with. And I 100% get it. There was a time where it made sense to just say, hey, don't get the 50 epics as an example. And it comes up a lot because, there are a million faction credits and it was a lot to get the materials needed, the ship parts, but all of those things have become significantly easier. And anybody who says in G4 that it's still hard to get those, I'm going to sound like the old man yelling at the clouds. Like I'm the old man staring at the new generation, complaining about them, but that's just silly. I mean, even the basic things. Remember, the Latinum exchange rate to commons used to be 10-1 in G4. Well, now it's 4-1, right? The ability to get rare parts has significantly increased in G4. The ability to get mats has significantly increased in G4. The ability to get faction credits has absolutely ballooned. It's been crazy how many more faction credits you can get today at level 4950 than just a year ago. I mean, we're talking, and I'm not exaggerating, double the amount. That's not an exaggeration. You can get double the amount of faction credits you were getting from just a year ago. So now that it's no longer too expensive, it doesn't make any sense to skip them, right? Yeah. Is triple faction grinding worth doing now? I know it was always recommended to do dual faction in the past. So here's what I personally recommend. I think, and again, this is completely up to you. You don't always have to follow Rev's advice. I'm simply providing you the options. I think if you're in G4 and above, triple faction lock, because the mirror universe makes that a viable thing. Now, maybe you wait till 46, 50 to do that, whatever. But if you have the option to have all three, I think you take advantage of all three. That's just me. Some people would disagree with that. That's fine. But I would recommend when you become a G4 player and you start unlocking like your Valdor or your Katinga and you start going through your specialists, whatever you're using, I would recommend triple faction locking and tri-faction grinding. You're getting the benefits of all. You're getting more faction credits, more officer upgrades, it's more ships. I would recommend it. It's more speed ups. I think it's good. Yeah. And no, Eric. In fact, if somebody in chat, not that I'm saying don't ask this, I'm just saying that I don't want to answer the same question 400 times. If anybody else sees somebody asking about arena comps, y'all just help out and tell them, I got nothing to share. Our comp is coming. That's all I got. Yeah. So, since the Alliance tournament is on, does anyone know if the Treasury key pack in the store has multiphasic credits? All right, so Treasury key packs. You're talking about buying it? In terms of getting multiphasic credits, to get multiphasic credits, you have to make a purchase on the web store, the PC, or Mac client. That is how you get multiphasic. It's not pack specific. It's where are you buying the pack specifically. So if you're wanting to get multiphasic credits, you have to be making the purchase on the web store, PC client, or the Mac client. If you're on your phone, if you're on your tablet, you're not going to get multiphasic credits because you're going through the Apple or the Google store. You have to be going through the Exela store, which is part of the PC client, Mac client, etc. And then how much you get is based on how expensive the pack is. A $100 pack is currently going to give you $17,000. A $50 pack is giving you $7,500. So it just depends. Because if you have a treasury key, but if you got the $5 treasury, you're not going to get as many multiphasics as a $100 treasury key would. So, pay less than some Google stores? No, you don't. Pay the exact same amount. There just might be an exchange rate. But the multiphasics are still set the same way. So, yeah. How long should I camp at 39? All right. Reiteration. I say this all the time. There is no such thing as a time limit for any camp. Time limits have nothing to do with camping. Nothing to do with camping. Time limits have nothing to do with camping. Camping is about completing goals. It can take people with the same goals different times to do things. So for example, 39. I want players to have at least a tier 8 faction ship with the warp engine upgraded so you have maximum warp range for that tier 8 faction ship. I want you to have your Talios, your Voyager, etc. maxed out, which is tier 3 for the level. I want you to have completed as many efficiency researches as you can. It might take some people a month to do that. It might take some people 6 months to do that. It might take some people a week. It's not about the time. Time doesn't matter. It's how long does it take you to complete your milestone. Set you up what you're wanting to accomplish. Set up goals. Once you reach the goals, you're done, right? It doesn't, like, there's not like a magic, oh, wait another 3 months, right? It's, have you completed your goals? If the answer is yes, move up. A big other goal that I look for is if you're level 39, can you go into the silent hostiles right now as a 39 and beat the starter hostiles? Like, can you beat an early silent or G4? Can you participate in that content? Basically, can you punch up to make sure that you're not experiencing woe? Because here's the tricky thing about going G4. About 10,000 loops open up immediately. That's not an exaggeration. It's 10,000. Not 10,000. But I mean, you got Zindi, you got Mirror, you got Silent, you got Crenum, you got Q Continuum / Revenant / whatever the heck we call this area space up here. All these loops just immediately go, do me, do me, do me, do me, do me. And if you aren't ready for that, you're going to get overwhelmed. And even then, you're going to get overwhelmed even if you are ready. So you have to be, ready, strong, and then move up and start taking on the 10,000 clicks, as Zero Gravity says, so that you can do all the things, right? Not to mention that in the 30s, you're not doing things like waves as much, but you will want to do waves more as you go into G4 and then G5 and then G6. So it's just prepping for all of these different things that are going to come at you. And that's why it's important for me to camp. Again, we've talked about whether the word camping is appropriate to use here because we're not really min-maxing or anything, but I think the emphasis is the same, and I think most people get what we're trying to go with that. Zindi hostiles. Speaking of Zindi hostiles, I gotta go get my premium dust. Like, this is a big deal. This is arguably the best event each week. Let me go do that real quick. Where is my NX01 even at? I don't even know. NX01. You know what? We're just going to change a crew. We'll make the NX01 here. I'm just going to do the cheese method. I'm going to do one of the cheese methods. But I'm going to do the extra cheesy method. I don't know. No, let's do the first crew. We'll just change up this one over here. Hey, what's up, Breaker? Welcome in. Good to see you. And Kevin, good to see you. You split your day up. Don't want to be overwhelmed. And that's smart, John. I respect that. And you should actually try to teach more people to do what you're doing. Because you're doing it right, in my opinion. Yeah, splitting it up, not getting overwhelmed. That's the way to play this game. All right, let me go in here. Actually, do I have an upgrade by chance? Oh, well, would you look at that? Would you just look at it? Would you just look at it? Maxed her out. Look at that. Happy day. Well, I say maxed her out. I should actually hit the upgrade button. Yep. You know what? Who needs Latinum? Bam. Look at that. Look at that. What a happy day for Rev. All right, let's go over here. And then that. And that also, hopefully, that should have reset my refinery. It did. It did reset my refinery. Look at that. Happy day. It's a great day. Gotta go mine more of that stuff. But it's a great day. We've now maxed out the NX01. That's one loop down. Yeah, still gotta do the grind. But hey, that's one loop down. Let's go ahead and do this box. Get more of our rare and epics. Nice. Hey, Frederic. Good to see you. Level 37. Should I start killing aquatic reds to pile up on loot so I'll have a bunch when my export faction store will open up further down the road? Aquatic hostiles like Zindi? No. No. You shouldn't even bother trying. I don't even know how you would try that, but no. Not bother trying to do aquatic Zindi at 37. Let that loop live in G4. Don't even try to make yourself hate yourself with that. No. No. All right, I'm going to go in here real quick, and we're just going to do this. And thanks to the Kishara artifact that we unlocked from Alliance tournaments, we can just pick all these battleships and let them run. And I can talk to chat. NX01 refit, second prettiest ship in Star Trek after the Constitution refit. Don't agree with that. However, I will tell you that I've been working with two particular game designers who are working on the Wrath of Khan arc coming out this year. And I have been very, very, very specific in what ship the Enterprise was and why they should make it in the game. So those that aren't as Trek savvy as I am, there is a Constitution refit class, but I made sure they understand that is not the same as the USS Enterprise A, which for those of you who are diehard Trek fans knows that starts in Star Trek 4, not Star Trek 2, which is Wrath of Khan. But going over details of the which ship and why this is great, and suggesting various artifacts, you know, with like Khan's necklace or his chest piece, you know, whichever one you want to do, you know, things like that. The earworms, the glasses of Kirk, all kinds of things that I'm working with game design. I cannot tell you that all the great ideas that I have will make it in the game, even though I have an unlimited amount of great ideas because the name's Rev. And if my head was any bigger, I'd be able to float to Mars. It doesn't make any sense. But I am trying to get that ship, the Constitution refit, in the game today. Now, we do have a Constitution class skin, which I do absolutely love. And I think it's one of the best skins in the game. I think Scopa did a great job with design on that one. They got it right. I think they did. Again, I love it. But I'm trying to get the actual refit in. And we're working on that. So, and I've been talking to them that for a while. Apparently, it wasn't a chess piece. I mean, it looked good. It looked good. So, there you go. Trying to get all those cool things in. It's my opinion. Star Trek The Wrath of Khan is the greatest Star Trek movie of all time. In fact, for those who are supporters of this channel, don't forget, this upcoming Sunday, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, we're going to be watching Wrath of Khan together on our special Discord. If you do not have access to that Discord, All you got to do is sign up to be a member on our website, revduce.com. Everybody who's lieutenant or higher can be part of movie night where we sit down, we talk, we watch movies together, we hang out, and we just get a little bit more friendly, right? A little bit more personable. If y'all would like to be part of that, that's how you can. Never required. But if you want to watch the best Star Trek movie of all time with Rev, come do that with us. And you're supporting me and the kids at the same time. So big thank you to those who do that. So, Boomer says since the last time I've talked, hit Ops 42. And I'm loving it. Less than 10 million reps to starting the Valdor. Thanks for all your advice and videos. Boomer, happy to know that I'm helping. Appreciate you. You're awesome. Yeah. How would I complete this Xindi event with a tier 2 NX-01 at level 42? Easy, Jenny. Use the cheese crew. Leslie, Ro, Nero. Use the cheese crew. Even a tier 2 NX-01 at your level can destroy a 47 or even, depending on research and stuff, a 50. Using the cheese crew. Cheese crew. Cheese crew. So use the cheese crew. That's what I'd recommend. You can get tons of loot. Sure, it's going to take multiple trips. You get lots of loot and lots of goodies. So, yep. Go after that. All right, got all those in. Let's see how far we've made it in that while I've been over here spamming. There's some 65 mirror dust. Why do we call it the cheese crew? Because we're cheesing something. Now, that is vernacular that will probably not translate to every country. In fact, I can almost guarantee it won't. But it is a gaming term that's been used here in the U.S. for a very long time. Where you're making a method super easy. It's called cheesing it. That's just how we've said it. Now, again, I don't expect that to mean that everyone uses that. I don't even expect all Americans to use that, but it is a common thing here, and that's why I say it. What is the best rare officer this month? None of them, but Tuvok, sure, I guess. Tuvok, sure, I guess. I mean, I honestly didn't care. I haven't done any of my events. I don't care. So no rare officer for rep. Meh. Meh. You can hit 51 if the go home gun doesn't go off. And keep in mind, the cheese crew can't stop the go home gun from going off. It can only guarantee you survive against a larger hostile if the go home gun doesn't fire. But that's okay, right? That's fine. The key is you're going to fill up your cargo bay and get way more loot. So. Yep. Thanks for your explanation. You're more than happy, or I'm more than happy to give it to you. You're more than welcome. Words are hard. Words are hard. How you do that with one token? So you've only got one token, Jenny? Really? You don't have any tokens saved up? If you only got one token, then that method's not going to be the best method for the Thin Deep grind. I realized you only had one token saved up. Let's see. Let's hop in here. I will tell you, remember, make sure you unlock the skin that's available for free in that refinery, because the skin will allow you to start getting 2 tokens a day as opposed to 1. That's a big thing to make sure you go and grab. But if you come over here, you can check out the Wednesday events. Check out Zen Deep, which I just finished. And it is defeat Reptilians as well. So you can do the Reptilians. They do pay out less, but you can do the Reptilians to finish. And you can do that, with your regular grind. You get 1 a day. Should I save them? Only do it once a week. So here's how I do it, Jenny. And here's how I did it when I was in G4. I did not try to do the Enterprise loop every day. I actually would save up tokens for a good week, and then I'll just do them in 1 day. That way, if the RNG hit, the odds of the RNG failing you all 7 times are very, very low. But that's what I would do. And then at your level, what I'm also doing, Jenny, is I'm doing 2 things in the Xindi loop. I'm doing the farming of the larger aquatics with my NX-01 Enterprise, but I'm also hopping from these systems, once a day, twice a day. Just go and take a look. Specifically, only hunt the traders. Only the traders. They're slightly easier to kill and they pay out way more loot. So if you go out, once a day, twice a day, and you're specifically, look, you just do a rotation, right? If you don't see it here, you just go to the next one, then go to the next one, then go to the next one. If you don't see it, fine, don't worry about it. But make a rotation once a day and look for the traders. And if you're lucky, you can find them doing their spawn run where you hit the G4. All right, there's that one, then you get this one, then you get this one. You can get 3 or 4 in a row. And that'll give you a lot of that trading currency you need to help progress you in your refinery. So that's what I was doing at the lower end of that loop. I would encourage you to think at the same if you have the time. If nothing else, schedule that. But focus on the traders instead of just, blasting away at the annoying aquatics. Just focus on doing a trader run and cycle through. And especially with that loop having been out a while now, you don't have as many people focusing on that. So it's easier to do now than it was in the past. They seriously want players moving to 50s that need to open the taps on 4-star rare parts. They already have, Gary Kirk. I don't understand why people keep saying this. As if the rare parts have not, and I'm not exaggerating, tripled in the past year. What do you mean open the taps? The taps are open. Like, the taps are wide open. What do you mean? What do you mean? I mean, there is a point where they're not just going to give you 20,000 rare parts, right? But the taps on rares are open, and then coinciding with the fact they have added several ways to lower the actual cost of your parts, right? For example, just because you called it out, Gary, are you going after the free-to-play prime in the export research tree that you can get in here, right here, that lowers your cost? Is this live? Nope. This is taped and recorded in front of a dead studio audience. Are you getting this free-to-play prime? Are you doing your Dolomites every day? G4 is no longer a slog. The parts are there. There are tons of loops that pay out the parts. Now, I will absolutely agree that it's annoying that it's this over here, that over there, this over there. But you got Voyager, you've got Gorn Eviscerator, you've got Bajor, you've got multiple reductions in prices like this right here, your Dolomite primes, you've got artifacts. There are so many ways to lower your cost to the point that at level 44 is currently the earliest level that you can actually make the jelly a profitable scrap, where the jelly is actually paying you out more resources than you cost or you spend to max it out and scrap it. I don't really get the Scopa needs to open the tap. The tap's open. It's just, are you doing all the things you need to do that? Right? Are you getting all the things? And if not, that's okay. Let's talk about maybe what you're missing or maybe you weren't aware of that's available. Because again, I'm 100% on board with the fact that Scopely needs to get way better at organizing things. And it's silly that there's 100 rare ship parts over there, 15 there, 1,000 there, and it's all over the place. Right? I get that. That's a 100% legitimate gripe, and I will continue to bang that gavel down on the table. But rare parts all over the place. Just, are you going through the ways to get them? So that is a legitimate issue. Burning Chronos G5 epic ore sourcing remains an issue, even level 60. Get that epic crystal to epic ore bonus material converted pretty hard, so that was nice. Burning Chronos. The answer to that question is a more recent addition, and that is the Revenant. The Revenant is your answer to that equation. And now keep in mind, Burning, that with you heading to G6 now, right? You're not feeling that as good as other players are. I mean, everybody here who's currently here who is lower G5 or G4, even our G3 players, they're going to be able to take advantage of the Revenant and just be giddy with joy over it compared to where you're at, where you're still kind of feeling that crunch a little bit. But as time goes on, as more people adopt this loop, especially when you get to the mark up, because, oh gosh, just leveling up your Revenant is so huge. Let me pull up my Vorchai real quick. Look at this. I've got 5,600 crystal right now, epic. That almost, not all of it, but over 5,000 of that came from just taking my Revenant to tier 5, level 21, scrapping it. Then I got 5,000 epic of each type. That's why, when I hear people say the taps need to be open, I'm like, the taps are open. It's just, are you where you need to be to take advantage of the tap? If you're not under the sink and you're sitting on the toilet, well, you're not going to get the tap. So it's just all about where you're at. Can you take advantage of it yet? And if not, how can we help you take advantage of it? How can we help you take advantage of it? How can we get you there, right? And there's also that balance of also hey, ship parts. You see, I don't have enough to tier 8 with the Vorchai. There are some elements that are never going to be quote unquote easy, right? Because at the end of the day, the game is supposed to be a challenge. If you want to max something, it's going to take a long time. You have to do all the different loops. But I didn't buy a ship pack for this. Remember when we had a spender from Server 20 Shot Behringer who donated to my family and said, hey, you have to use some of this money on packs. And he's like, buy a ship pack for parts. I'm like, nay. Buy Dolomite so that I can get cheaper cost, because the cost on these is crazy. Or if you see, I only need 592 rare parts for this. We had somebody in the last stream. They were double my cost because they had not spent the time to go after as many of the efficiency researches. Those researchers are key, which is why I love pointing them out. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to bring up another one of the many charts that I have, because I have way too many charts. Also, if you are out there and you're a nerd and you want to help out, I do need more help with our charts. However, here's the one that goes over the free primes you can get in Alliance tournaments. If you notice, you have 2 of them for G4 and G5 prime parts efficiency. These will each lower it by 50%. Sure, 50% by itself is not necessarily a lot, but it adds in with all the other ones that you have, making your costs cheaper. And this is something that just in the past month now, since we've had 2 Alliance tournaments, that y'all could get and have unlocked if you're running. Because the one thing I do love about the tournaments is this particular set are not locked behind like Masters League. I think it's Adept League. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Adept League. These are locked behind. So you don't even have to be that high in the Alliance tournament ranking to already be getting 2 of the more valuable primes in the game. So it's Adept. Sweet. Nailed it. First time. Best try. Wow. Breath's so incredible. I'm just another ginger guy. But I have more energy now that I've lost weight. That's kind of cool. G4 Barge Prime when it first came out. Got when the Alliance tournaments came out. Nice, Sin. Good job. That's awesome. It's great. And again, not trying to like disparage or like besmirch anybody here. Just trying to help everybody be the best that they can be. It's also why I'm such a big fanatic with stuff like this. Like, I love artifacts because of what they can give you. Dual generators, ISO defense. That's big because it hits all your ships. Come on down to Borg Queen's Remains. ISO damage. But let's get out of the ISO stuff. I know not everybody, y'all have heard me talk about ISO enough. What about this one? Bam. Mats. That's 125% reduction. That's fantastic, y'all. That's awesome. Also, come on down here. Where is it? Where's the other one? Scepter of the Grand Nagus. 3-star stuff. So don't feel bad. It's more than just 4-star. We got Scepter of the Grand Nagus helps out for scrapping those Enterprises, those Augurs, those D4s. So going after this, Scotty's Trident, cost efficiency for ship components, 175%, and I'm only at tier 4. Like, so good to go after. And they're lore friendly, which really touches my heart that they're lore friendly. Like I said, I'm going to be upgrading this maybe 2 more levels. We'll see how high I take it. But the Shar artifact, also something you get free to play. And then don't forget, bring this up several times because I want everybody to know. Remember, you also have this guy right here. Battleship parts, which is one I'm taking advantage. 120% current cost reduction, adding in all the other ones that I already have. So efficiencies. I know I've screamed at them a lot. I know I bring them up all the time, and some of y'all probably get tired of me saying the same thing over and over, and I get it. But that's the answer. That's the answer. I know where your weight went. Can I send it back? Sorry, David. You can keep it, buddy. You can keep it, man. I mean, I appreciate you making the offer. It's very kind of you to offer to make me fatter again. And I still feel like I weigh too much, but you know, it's just looking at the camera now. I'm appreciative of y'all's support because y'all have helped push me to be healthier, and it's you can see it. You can see it. I'm proud of myself. There are some things it's worth being proud of yourself on, but you can see it in the face and the neck, chest, and the less. I've got less man boobs. Great. So, but more importantly, I'm happier and healthier. So, yeah, good. What you doing to get the pounds bound? Simple answer. I won't lie to you. I did jump on the semi-glutide craze by going to Groupon and buying like the $100 specials. And that was the biggest thing because it allowed me to, it just suppressed your appetite a bit and allowed me to change how I eat. So now my portion sizes are a lot smaller, right? And I don't eat the same things I was eating before. I'm not saying that like, ooh, cheesecake. Sure, have you a slice of cheesecake, but don't have a cheesecake. And that was my biggest issue, was the portion sizes. Now I'm also doing things like going on walks and doing stuff like that, being healthier in general. But it started with the appetite suppressant of semi-glutide. then taking advantage of that to then change how I eat. So I didn't do the whole like Ozempic thing because Ozempic's like $1,000 and way too much money. But I took semaglutides, which you can find, random health clinics across the U.S. doing like starter, $100 get you in. But I know I had a beard in this one, but just to give you a visual reference of where I was at before, you can still see it in my cheeks. Rev to rev. And keep in mind, the beard's really going to expand the face, but you can see it in the cheeks and everything. Like I was a bigger boy. I also picked the best picture. I felt like this is, if you're going to show yourself, pick the best picture you can. I think this is the best still shot I could do. So I'm currently down to 221-ish pounds. The biggest y'all have ever seen me was about 280. So what is the recommendation from Perfection Pursuer? So my recommendation is actually what you just saw me going after in Zen Deep. Now this will depend on where you're at as a player, because again, I don't know where your account's at, but my recommendation is the Premium Mirror Dust. In terms of like general answer that affects everybody, Premium Mirror Dust. Now, there might be a better option for you, like specifically your account. There might be a better option. It just depends on you as a player. But the one that would, benefit everybody is going to be the Premium Dust. So come in here, you've earned your tickets or whatever. This is the one that affects everybody. Now I will also add, let's say that we're talking about my level 26 account. This is actually more valuable. That'll immediately level up like one level of a low level player, or maybe even more. Think it. Also, if you have yet to unlock Belana Torres, Neelix, Tom Paris, great time to start. There are good answers. It just depends on you as a player. If you're a PvP player, 7 of 9, right? Let me give you an example. There's some level 61s in the chat. A lot of level 61s have already progressed semi-far down their premium mirror tree, right? But if you're a level 61 player, odds are you're a PvPer. Just how it is. 7 of 9 is one of the best PvP officers in the game because of her below deck ability. Or Isolated Cascade. So it just depends. The general answer for everybody is Premium Mirror Dust. The specific answer for your account might be 7 of 9, might be Syndicate XP, might be Harry Kim shards just to get him maxed out, depending on where you're at. So it's very specific to where you are. But generally speaking, the one that's good for everybody is Premium Mirror Dust. Oh, I just had my Kishara break. See, this happens sometimes. This is one of the bad things about the Kishara artifact. Sometimes it breaks and don't work no more. It go bork. This is why you hear people complain about it. I watch your videos in the living room. Therefore, my girlfriend watches your videos. She mentioned your weight loss. So good job. So what you're saying is, girlfriend likes me. Hey, girlfriend. Appreciate it, Laromi. You're 15 shards away from Chakotay, and I'm at 1450. So frustrated, I can't get to 1500. Felt, Michael. Felt. Let's see. What else we got here on our comments? Because I don't like missing comments. For the second week running, I've gone Zindi farming with my NSEA Protector and didn't get very far. Why are you going Zindi farming with your NSEA Protector? Any particular reason? Why you're using the NSEA? That's just random. Yeah. I took the Sentinel because I needed 15 epic Q shards to tier him, and the 175k got me to the 3rd milestone on the Syndicate Heroic SMS, and you got premium dust from it. I think that is a completely well thought out and great way to approach it. I love how you combined it with events that were ongoing. That makes a lot of sense. And great job, Breaker. That does make a ton of sense to do it that way. We check what other events that we got going on today. Mission key reminder for those who haven't done your mission key reminder. My alliance has finished the AMS, so do your mission keys if you haven't already. Just a reminder. So MPL, like I told y'all before, I don't have a date to give you. All right, let's go ahead and spam these. Keep clearing these out. And out, what, I probably earned 400 of these so far. What's in this rewards chest? Oh, when did I do a formation armada? I don't remember doing a formation armada. Okay, sure. I apparently did. Apparently did do a formation armada. Alrighty. All right, we'll queue back up. Someone killing one of your queue targets break the shard. It's supposed to automatically jump to the next one. And most times it does. Sometimes it does not. Sometimes it does not. Like with many things in Star Trek Fleet Command, it works 99% of the time, 60% of the time. Yes. Would it be worthwhile to start a new account on another server to restart the process of working the progress to do the things the right way? I'll say this, Matt, and again, I can't speak for you or anybody else, but I can speak for me. Every time I restart the game, I enjoy it more. That's just how it is for me. Now, there are big reasons why people don't restart. Sunk cost fallacy is a big one. People are like, hey, I've either invested a ton of time or a ton of money into this account. I just can't start over. And I understand where they're coming from. I just don't necessarily agree with them. The only argument I ever hear that I agree with is I don't have time for two accounts, and I've had too many great relationships and friendships I've built, so I don't want to restart. Now, that argument, I'll never try to counter. I love that argument. I think that's fantastic. But I never agree with the argument, I've spent too much money or too much time. Because you've already gotten the value for the time and money you've spent. Right? Now, if you've made just great relationships and you don't want to run two accounts, that makes sense. But I think starting the game makes you love the game more. I think you definitely notice how much easier the game is, how much faster you progress, and you enjoy it more. So, to me, the only valid reason to not start over is you value the friendships you've made too much. Wake says, restarted the game, my new account so much better. There you go. So, thank you, Valhalla. Appreciate the kindness. Welcome in. Good to see you. Joanne says, I was Zindy hunting with my NSEA because I was not concentrating and didn't realize I'd sent the wrong ship until too late. Well, you know what? You're not the first person to do that, and I promise not the last. In fact, I do it all the time. Everybody in chat has had plenty of great laughs at Rev for, just completely wasting tokens and stuff because of where I ended up sending my ships. So don't worry, you're not alone in that. I do it as well. So Dave says the game now has actual Star Trek content, not just Abrams. I don't know if you know this, Dave, but that's actual Star Trek content. I don't know if you know this, but Abrams are actual Star Trek content. I know you may not know it, but now I helped you out. You're welcome. Yep. It's fun to restart an account on an old server. You can place on top leaderboards super easy. That's true, Nick. In fact, we get new players on server 20 every now and then. And this always blows the minds of people who are like screaming the game's dying all the time. But the game has actually been growing in the past 6 months, and the population has increased. Any game like this is going to have attrition. People get frustrated, they quit, etc. But the game's population has actually been increasing in the past few months, and new populations and new servers are vibrant. Now, they're not getting as big of a numbers as some of the older servers did. Like some of the older servers would get 6,000, and they're like, yeah, let's weed some of those out and let them die out. But yeah, it's I think it's 254,000 active players. The last time STFC Statistics did a complete run, and we've actually seen it grow instead of just be stable, which is unique. You don't see that happening with a lot of games that are 6 years old. So that means if you start on a new server, though, you're going to meet not people who are just like, you're not just meeting me and Dave. That's what I'm saying, right? I'm saying you're going to meet a lot of new characters. Is there a way we can see their stats? Yeah, STFC.WTF, SFC Statistics. Remember, anything I quote and everything that I hand out is available to the public unless something is still in the testing phase. And an example of the testing phase is the calculator. Like, this is not available to the public yet because we're still testing it. However, we're working on that now, and as soon as we get done beta testing it, we'll release the Apex barrier calculator. Like I said, I've been working with Light Bull and Spock's Club to get this created. Big shout out to him for sitting down with me and working with this, because I can tell you how the math works, but I can't code and make anything like this. So I need amazing people who know how to do this. And obviously he knows how to do the math too. But I need people who know how to do this so that I can share it with y'all. A big shout out to Light Bull for helping put this together with me. And then once we make sure that it is nailed down, we'll share it out. And this will work with any shot type, Kevin. Now keep in mind that There's very, very little Apex involved with most armadas. Very, very, very little Apex involved with most armadas. Some armadas is basically no Apex. Apex is, for the most part, still a PvP mechanic. Now, I know Crenum has got like their escalating ISO and escalating Apex stuff, but generally speaking, Apex is a PvP mechanic. All right, let's go ahead and boop, pop on over here. And let's go ahead and grab this one. This one. This one. Not allowed. What? You mean not allowed? With some peace accords? What? You mean you're not allowed? Weirdo. Weirdo. All right. Who do you recommend for crewing against Reptilians Indy? I'm 41 with an NX-01, but I can't take them down. Well, with Reptilians, I wouldn't be using my NX-01. I'd be using my FKR ship. And for crewing, I would still refer back to the video I made for going against Reptilians Indy. Here, I'll pull it up for you. I don't know who all you have, so it's tough to just give you a blanket answer. I mean, I could tell you to use blocks, but I mean, who knows what you have. So I'm going to give you the video that goes over several different crew sets. And if after that, you're still like, hey, struggling, not able to really do this, hit me up and we'll try to go through it. Where is the video? Where is the video? That's the punch up one. That's the Zindy Aquatic. Where's my Zindy Reptilian video? Zindy Reptilian. I can't even find my video. Did I take it down? Where's my video? You know what? I'm going to share another guide from another content creator just because I don't want to spend all day looking for this. So I'm going to share another one. There you go. There you go. Don't know where my Reptilian one is. I don't know if it got taken down or something, but that's No One Shall's from a year ago. And check that one out. But if you need more help, message me on Discord and I'll be more than happy to help you out. Biggest thing is not knowing where your crews are, and follow up on that. And shout out to Valhalla also bringing it up. The biggest thing with Reptilians, like this is the #1 focus on this. X-Borg up here. You want to get your particle beam delay maxed. And then of course you want to get your Zindy escalation and then your critical damage floor. These 3 favors are a must. Those are your focal points. Gotta get those done. Now I do have a video about X-Borg in terms of like what to go after in the faction. So I do have that. For some reason I don't see my specific Zindy Reptilian video, but I do have multiple videos about the X-Borg faction and going after the favors and where to focus. So I do have that one, I know. I see it. Yeah. Yeah. Any news about any tie-in to the new Section 31 film coming out? No. No. Good question, though. I am looking forward to the new movie. Will they release anti-cloaking at some point? They kind of have. And when I say they kind of have, they've done it in the way that they're going to do it, which is through various researches and stuff. You can increase the probability of you seeing whether somebody was cloaked. But in terms of like an ability that like decloaks somebody, no. There doesn't seem to be any movement on that. But to give you a visual example, there is a research in the territory tree that will improve your ability to see who is cloaked. I'm just grabbing one of them. There are plenty of things like cloaking wavelengths to remain anonymous, and then cloaking beacons to identify when cloaked. Things like this are like their answer to finding out who's cloaked. No actual movement on an actual ability. So, had a productive day. Removed a tumor from 15-year-old. Wow, that's really cool. Did 3 10K tasks free to play. Gained 35 million power from upgrading most of my defense platforms. Wow, the hell, I'm really stuck on the first part of that. Did not realize that you were a surgeon. Like a surgeon. Did not know that. That's cool. Did you take pics? Just kidding. That would be a HIPAA violation. But you did take pics, didn't you? You weirdo. Anyway, getting a little bit too much like Twitch Rev. You can also see cloaked ships if they're part of a starbase assault. This is true. This is true. That is absolutely true. The starbase will decloak them. Doop, 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 doop. All right, I'm going to quick speed up. Boop. I'm actually going to do this because I don't know why, but I've never done it. Just sitting here. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Why not? Who says no? Boss 59 now as well. Wow, Valhalla. Dude, chill out. Stop being better than everybody and everything in your life. You know, it's okay to be a loser sometimes. What, can you try being a loser for me? Chill out. Thank you. Gosh, I'm being so good at everything. Really annoying. I'll go ahead and get all these done because it actually annoys me that I've never done these. All right. A lot of people use NX-01 for that grind. In my opinion, FKR ships are way better to be used. Yeah, when it comes to Reptilians, I don't use the NX-01. The NX-01 for me is literally only aquatics. Now, I will say this, my NX-01 being maxed is actually a beefy boy. I don't know if y'all caught how big my NX-01 currently sits, but it's well over 300 million power, and it actually has a little bit of DPR to it and everything. So it will obviously vary where you're at as a player and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's another one. I need as many ISOs as I can get. ISO defense also needed, especially if arenas ever comes back. I need my ISO. I'll go ahead and drop that in there, and there we go. I've progressed some research. Nice. All right, we got identifying weaknesses, progressed a little bit. Very cool. Check our boxes. Then we'll go back and actually look at that NX-01 I was just bragging about. See, here's my NX-01. 330 milli right now out of the box. DPR, 34.5, decent health. And just to compare that, here's my North Cut. And my North Cut, right around the same, much more DPR, which you would expect. FKR is generally going to have better performance. But you will see that for the most part, I mean, they're pretty similar. They're not too far off, right? I know we're talking Explorer to Interceptor, but my Corvus is not very high tier. But I mean, that's respectable, right? That's respectable. You know, it's probably a better one to compare it to. Here's my almost maxed Enterprise A, right? That's probably more comparable. Almost maxed Enterprise A. I mean, most people here would probably like to have a big one. And Ryan's right. Not much shields in that NX-01. But at the same time, when you have a ship that's 300 million power, you're going to brute force a lot of people. You're going to brute force a lot of people. I mean, just because you have such high DPR and stuff. I'm not saying it's an amazing warship. I'm just saying, hey, it gets a little bit of beef to it. It gets a little chonk. Right? It's a little chonk. A little chonk. I'm not saying it's amazing, right? I'm just saying. It's nice that there's something else, right? If you're looking for something else. Now, best specialty ship in the game right now for PvP, 4 cube, but that's for higher levels. For everybody else, NSEA. Monavine, Talios, probably in that order. Probably in that order right now. We're talking about like your average upper G4/G5 player. Again, level will really depend on how accurate that statement is. Depends on where you're at. What other questions y'all got, by the way? Because we had 350 people here watching. If you are here, hit the like button. It helps out the channel. And if you would like to support the channel, remember, I can't do what I do without y'all's help. It's greatly appreciated. Every donation helps out a lot. If you do want to sign up to be part of movie night, remember that is on revdeuce.com. And if you do want to support me, if you just want to donate directly, say, hey, Rev, I'm not about to give you, $5 a month, but I'll give you $5 right now. PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. Without y'all support, this can't happen. Me bugging the overlords can't happen. Me telling them what to put in for Wrath of Khan can't happen. And it's all thanks to y'all. So a big thank you to those who do support. So, G5 uncommon tier list. What are you asking for, Jay Forbes? What are you asking? Are you asking which of the G5 uncommons I prefer? Well, that's easy. The Vorchop, because it's Klingon. And that's the best. Because it's Klingon. Simply because of Klingon. It's the best. Your Valdor's 54? Let's see what my Valdor is now. I actually don't pull up my Valdor much anymore for obvious reasons. But my Valdor is 71 at tier 6. 71 at tier 6. Which of the three is most useful? As I have said 100 times, and I guess I'll repeat it 100 more. There's no difference. Pick whichever you want. Does not matter. Ship abilities no longer matter past G4. G5, G6, pick what you like. Ship abilities no longer matter. Pick what you like. There are slight differences in firing pattern when you say like Minerva versus Akira, but truthfully, doesn't matter anymore. Pick what you like. Any fight you win, PvE or PvP, It's going to come down to the FTs that you have, the CTs you have, the research, the artifacts, the favors, the officers. Pick whatever ship you want. Does not matter. Does not matter. Also need to go ahead and tier up the Revenant, but I'm going to wait till tonight to do that. But it's ready for tier 6. What tier is my Katinga? Good question. Katinga is tier 10. Katinga is tier 10. So, Katinga is tier 10. Now, let's see. I've scrapped a lot of things. I need to finish maxing this ISS Jelly. I've got, what, 7 more parts left. And it's getting the rare parts. I know somebody's like, Rev, you just said the bottlenecks aren't that bad. They're not. You just still got, that doesn't mean don't have to do it, right? I still got to do the thing. But I just don't think it's that bad. We're talking about being able to easily max out ships. I mean, pretty good. The Rev ship help you max the Rotaran? Yeah. And I'm going to have lots of goodies for my Enterprise D at level 60 in a few months. All thanks to the scrapping loops of the ISS Jelly and eventually the Enterprise A. So it's going to be a sad day scrapping the Enterprise A, but it's got to happen so that the Enterprise D, the real Enterprise D, can live. But the good news is I'll just build another Enterprise A. So I'll just do another one. I mean, why not? Who says no? Let's check. See, this one I talked about being able to pull more rare Zindi. I'll go ahead and do these, though. You still recommend taking G4 in common to only tier 5, tier 7? Yep, I do. Don't really feel like you need more. You can do more if you want. Just don't feel like you need it. I feel like it's needed. All right, I go and done. And done. Nice to be able to take my Enterprise D to tier 9 when I built it because of the jelly scrapping. Yeah, I mean, if you prepare for the future, it takes away a lot of the frustrations this game will present. I'm not saying it takes away all of them, but it will take away a lot of them. So. All right. Messing with something under my desk because ADD is real. Always feels bad scrapping your first, etc. It does. In fact, y'all will see that I have multiple enterprises. I do not scrap an enterprise unless I have another enterprise built. I just won't. I have to have an enterprise up at any given time. And some of y'all might go, Rev, that's dumb. That makes no sense. I'm sentimentally attached to pixels. What can I say? What can I say? Brigadier says, I feel no real benefit of scrapping without the scrapping reward to include ship parts. Well, okay, so do the ISS Jelly loop. What do you mean? It does include ship parts. What do you mean? How long have you been staying at 53? I've been there a few months now. Heck. Like I said, I'm moving up probably this weekend. So I'll head to 56, stay there a short while, then I'm heading straight to 60. So I'm not going to be in this range much longer. You know, and there's no real reason for me to sit here now. I just wish there was a better officer set to go after and stuff like that. But, I mean, I've been one of the strongest level 53s for well over a month. And, yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting here for the sake of sitting here now. It's... Still have your Sally despite everything? Ain't nothing wrong with it. Not a thing, my friend. Again, if you enjoy that and that makes you happy, you've got sentimental value, I'm not going to come at you for it. I've still got a Kelvin. But my Saladin, I think my Saladins are all scrapped. I don't think I have a Sally sitting around. Yeah, I still have like my Legionaries and Mayflowers, most of them being hijacked. I still have a stock Tier 1 Legionary and an old Vidar. You know, I still got a few different things laying around. But, yep. 45 to 48 in a weekend. I could go pretty daggone far. I need to resync Spock's Club. I think I could go almost to 56 already. Pretty sure I can. Yeah, I can actually go to 56 in like one jump if I wanted to. So. Greg, apparently, so you don't scrap Enterprise A's? Doo-doo, doo-doo. I mean, you don't have to scrap. I'm just telling you you're missing out. I mean, that's how everybody gets their stuff, you know, upgraded and done. I like it. Not for everybody, but I like it. My Enterprise A is going to give me G5 parts, including ship parts. So, how would you rate special ship performance in G5 for Solar Armadas? That would be a horrible decision. I would never, ever recommend skipping, and I'll repeat this ad nauseum. Will not recommend skipping. Yeah. House Radarin, if your friends are hurt by the War Room, they're ridiculous, and I have no sympathy for them, and I'm glad they left the game. Like, don't care at all. Cry me a heckin' river. Wow. What babies. Boo-hoo. Jesus. And also, why even bother telling us that? Get out of here. Since some of my recent PvP battles, love it. Love it. Love it. Whatever. Exactly. Bye. What a baby. What a baby. Let's see. Even scrapping Coronar feeds the Enterprise D. Now, I will say Coronar, I'm not jumping on the bandwagon on only because the ISS Jelly exists. So, and the ISS Jelly is just a profit farm. Just a profit farm. So, love it. People come here and complain as if the game has literally not grown in population since they've added more PvP. Like, more people are active than ever. Like, y'all go whine about your Rose and your OPC miners somewhere else, because you're not going to get any sympathy here on Revstream. No sympathy here. Jelly feeds the Coronar, or Coronar gives you G5 parts. Yeah, but why would I waste time on a Coronar when I can do the Enterprise D? That's my thinking. Now, when the scrapping update comes and if they give us like 2 scraps, sure. Maybe have both of those going at one time. Right now, I want my best bang for my buck, so I'm going to scrap Enterprise A's for the Enterprise D. So, just more bang for my buck. You know, it's a maxed Enterprise A is going to give me 89,000 rare 5-star ship parts and 215,000 uncommon. That's the goodies for me. That's what I'm really looking at. And sure, Coronar, you could absolutely do the same thing. And G5 scrap or G4 scrapping isn't necessarily that great. But because the ISS Jelly, I can afford to do the Enterprise A. You know? You have to acquire the blueprints again to build another Enterprise A? Yep. Sure do. But I'm not worried about it. Again, because I can farm so many faction credits. I can, you know, if I need to be, I could use Platinum. But you can farm so much of this. Plus what you get from the, you know, Armada chests and stuff. I personally no longer believe that G5 Epic Blueprints are a pain in the butt to get. I don't believe that's a thing anymore. So, there's a reason why you can't speed up scrapping. Short answer, because for the longest time, they did not and do not want scrapping to be a economy improvement, but I think they're finally rolling over and just accepting it now. But that's why there's never been like using speed ups to actually make that go faster. So. What level do I need 2 efficiency to start scrapping jellyfish? You'd have to reference my video, Quake. I don't remember the exact numbers. No, I think it's 615% in ship parts. But check here. I'll grab the video for you because I don't remember off the top of my head. And hey, it gives you a chance to watch more amazing, beautiful Ginger. But here, let me go grab the ISS Jelly scrap mechanic. And I give you the specific numbers needed to turn it into the 4-star loot farm. Share button, copy, and a pasta. There you go. Copy and a pasta. Copy and a pasta. And exactly what Forbes is saying. You know, sourcing ISS Jelly BPs. Pulling your chest. Pulling your chest. I use Latinum for G5 BPs. Oh, easy. When you have a faction credit deficit, just keep clicking the button. Now, I don't have a faction credit deficit, so I can't show you. Wait, do I have a faction credit deficit over here I could maybe do? Here, maybe I have it on my other account I could show. Yeah, I'll come show it over here. I'm going to turn off server 20 real quick. Now, keep in mind, this is a low-level account you're about to look at. Like, I don't need a Mayflower. I get it. But when you have a faction credit deficit, simply click the button anyway, and it offers to convert it for you using Latinum. It is a 50-to-1 conversion, so it's not necessarily cheap. Absolutely not something I'd recommend for a low-level player. Once you're in like G5, G4, where you can get a lot more Latinum a day, this is not really as unreasonable. But as long as you have a deficit of faction credits, you can make a trade for those credits with Latinum. So, there you go. There you go. That's how it works. Now, I run into people who've been playing the game for 6 years and don't even realize that because Scopa doesn't make it easy to find. But believe it or not, there you go. Believe it or not. So, going to wrap up today. As always, y'all can reach out to me on Facebook, on Twitter, on X, on Discord, all the places. Lord knows I appreciate you. If you have not already, come follow us on the Twitch channel. We'll be streaming here in a few more hours. I'm going to go through all my messages, respond to everybody, do all the normal things. Like the video on your way out. Thank you for those who watch the content and support the content. It means a lot. Y'all are all amazing. Live long and plunder. Stay safe for those Space Cowboys. Deuces. That's me. Catch you on the next Star Trek League Man video. We're out. Love you. Appreciate you. Bye.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.